Hi guys, welcome back again to my YouTube channel. My name is Chrissy, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you guys on how I made this beautiful baby gown dress. So this is an off-shoulder gather gown with a belt, and you can see the small tie there at the center, and again I have two flare for the hand. All right, it's just a straight piece that I just cut out, then attach elastic. All right, so I have it like two steps. All right, you can see how it's looking. So I made this for a baby of 2 years old. All right, so right now this is the fabric I'm going to be using to make this dress, and for this fabric I have 2 yards here. All right, so I'll just go ahead and open it up, then I'll just continue opening it up, then I'll fold it into two. After folding into two, I'm also going to fold it into four so I can be able to cut out the gather. All right, so after folding, I'll also go ahead and place my tape because I want to cut it out now. So the length of this gown is 24 inches. All right, the length is 24. This is my 24, and I added extra 1.5 inches for the seam allowance, for the sewing allowance, and the joining of the half length. All right, so the baby's half length is also 8.5 inches. All right, so I'll just go ahead and mark 8.5 inches like this. After marking it, I'll go ahead and cut it off. So after cutting, I also trim off the excess at the side just like this. All right, so after I was done cutting, I also go ahead and cut out the half length for the upper part. All right, so I've gone ahead to fold it into two, as you can see. All right, now remember it's an off shoulder, so I'll first of all do a straight line across like this, as you can see. Remember the half length is 8.5, so I'll add extra 1 inch to make it 9.5. All right, so I'll just go ahead and spot it out. All right, so this is it, 8.5. So for the off shoulder, I will remove 3 inches since we are making it for a baby. I'll just remove 3 inches, as you can see. So I'll use the 3 inches to make a straight line just like this. Okay, so now after marking these 3 inches, what I'm going to do again is to go ahead and divide the bust circumference and the waist circumference. All right, so the bust circumference is 20 inches divided by 4 will give me 5 inches, and I marked it, then add 1.5 for the seam allowance. On the waistline, I did the same thing. The waist and the bust is of the same measurement. All right, 20 inches. So I divided it by 4. I marked it, then add 1.5. So I also added extra 1 inches here because the mom said she needs enough seam allowance. Okay, so after that, you can decide to leave yours at exactly 1.5 inches for the seam if you don't want too much allowance. So still leaving my tape at 3 inches, I came down by 5 inches. All right, so if you're making any dress for a baby, go ahead, like for a baby like 3 months, sorry, 3 years, 4 years, you get, just go ahead and make the armpit 5 inches. All right, so on the neckline, you can see that I marked 2.5 inches for the wideness. All right, so when making a baby dress, go ahead and mark 2.5 inches for the wideness of the neck. All right, so you can see that I'm cutting out the back as well, so I left space of 1 inch for the zipper allowance. So I'll just go ahead and trim off the armhole just like this. All right, so now after that, for the darts, I'm going to mark just 2.5 inches for the darts. All right, the dart I marked 2.5 inches. If you don't want to add yours a dart, it's also fine. So after that, I notched it, then slashed the zipper allowance into two. So this is the front piece and this is the back piece, as you can see. All right, now the next thing I'm going to be doing is to make the neckline for the back. All right, so I'll just remove the front piece aside, just keep it aside. Then for the back, I want to make a v neckline. So still leaving my tape at the 3 inches for the off shoulder, I'll go ahead and mark 7 inches. All right, I'll come down by 7 inches for the v. So from that point where I marked my 2.5 inches for the neck wideness, I'll just go ahead and make a v shape. You can see that I connected it to the 7 inches. If you want to make a sharp v, you can decide to come down as low as 9 inches, or 8.5. All right, so after cutting it off, you can see what I have here for the back. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to cut now is the sleeve. All right, so now for the sleeve, this is where I have here for the sleeve. So I'll just go ahead and take the length. So for the sleeve, you can see how small the piece is. So I'll just mark 6 inches for the sleeve. For the longer part, I'll mark 6 inches. All right, so after marking the 6 inches, you can see that I placed it on top of the other one. So I'll just trim off the excess at the upper part. I'll also trim off the excess at the side. Okay, just like this. Can you see? So after cutting, I'll open it up, then I'll measure the wideness. All right, so for the wideness, I placed my tape and I have 12 inches on a fold. All right, I'll just place my tape at the second one. I have the 12 inches on a fold. So when you open it up, you're going to have 24 inches. All right, so what I'm doing now is to cut the belt. You know it has belt. So for the belt, I'll mark 10 inches exactly on a fold, then also add 10 inches extra. All right, just cut out the waist circumference into two. Just cut out times 2 of her waist circumference. All right, so for the wideness of this belt, I am marking 4 inches. So when you fold it into two, you will have 2 inches. All right, then use half inch to sew. You can see the wideness is 4 inches. So I'll just go ahead and cut it off just like this. So for the back and front piece, you can see I've gone ahead to cut the lining for the both piece, as you can see. Now the next I'm going to do is to start the sewing. So for the sewing, this is the gather, that is the down part. I'll just go ahead and open it up like this. Then I'll head over to my sewing machine, then run a gather stitch at the top just like this. All right, so I'll just go ahead and do that. After doing that, I will be right back. So now, before I do that, I'll also go ahead and place the lining on top of the main fabric, the right side facing each other. Then I'll go ahead and sew at the top and at the both side. I'll also do the same thing for the back, sew on the top and on the both side, also sew the armhole as well. Alright, so guys, after running my gather stitch at the downside, you can see what I have here. So I'll just pull out one of the thread, then I'll go ahead and make my gather. Just go ahead and gather it, just like you see me doing. So guys, once I'm through with that, you can see what I have here. Can you see this? So after making your gathers, you should have exactly something looking like this. Okay, so now this is the front piece. I've gone ahead to sew my lining, and for the darts, I'll go ahead and make the dart. So for the wideness of the dart, I'll mark 2.5 inches. So this is the 3 inches there, and the under bust is 7 inches. All right, I'll be 6 inches. So I measured the 3 inches, then marked 6 inches, and also mark the 2.5 for the wideness of the dart. Okay, I'll also go ahead and do the same thing for the back. Okay, so now head over to my sewing machine, go ahead and make the dart. All right, I'll do the same thing for the back as well. So guys, after I was done, you can see what I have here. So this is the front and this is the back. All right, so for the back, let's just assume that the underbust is 8 inches, just minus 2 inches, then anything you have left, go ahead and mark. Okay, just like this one. All right, now what I'm going to be doing next is I'll just explain what I did here. So remember the dart length for the front is 6 inches, so I removed 2 inches from it, then I marked the dart for the back from 4 inches. Okay, so now you can see that I also pinned my zipper allowance. Right now I want to go ahead and shape it. So now I've placed it the right side facing each other, then I'll go ahead and measure the bust circumference divided by 2. Then after measuring what I have there, I also measure it. So I have 5.5 inches. So I'll go ahead and divide it into 2, then make my shaping. All right, do the same thing for the waistline. After doing that, you can see what I have here. Now right now, just remove the pin for the zipper. I'll just go ahead and remove it. Then after removing, I'll open it all like this. Then I'll place my tape from this waistline. I'll place from the zipper side to the other zipper side, alright, to this other end. So when I place it, I have 22 inches. So I'll just go ahead and get the midpoint for the front, and this is my gather stitch. Then I'll measure the length I have for the gather to know if I have exactly the 22 inches. So when you measure yours, if it's not up to what you have on the half length, on your half length, just go ahead and adjust your gather. All right, so now you can see that I've measured it and it's not up to what I have. So right now I'm just going to go ahead and adjust just like this. Can you see? Then I'll remeasure it to know if I have exactly 22. So when I measure it, I have exactly 22. Now I'm going to place it on the half length. I'll go ahead and place it like this, alright. Then firstly, I will notch the center side. Then I'll go ahead and place it. Just watch what I'm doing. After placing, head over to your sewing machine. Then go ahead and sew using your half an inch, alright.
It's roaring in the morning sun, searching for a longer day. People feeling like the light has just come. We must never stop the way, yeah. Birds jumping and I hear my name, grasping into a life. Life is happy but it's so insane. We must merely make a strive. Savannah, I'm coming home.
So guys, I've gone ahead to join it. As you can see, this is how it's looking, alright. So now just go ahead and show you guys what it's looking like again when I fold it in. So this is what I have here. Now for the belt, I already gone ahead to sew the belt using my half an inch, and also sew the bow tie as well. It's actually small bow tie. Alright, now I'll just go ahead and turn the belt the right side. Just go ahead and turn it out to the right side, alright, like this. So when you sew, you're going to leave space at the center side for the belt, so you'll be able to turn it over to the right side from there. After turning over to the right side, you're going to go ahead and make a top stitch for the middle. Alright, so this is the tie. You can see what I have here. Alright, now just keep it aside. Alright, now I'll open the baby gown. Then when I open it up, I'm going to make a mark for the center. Alright, I'll just go ahead and measure, then divide it by 2, then make a mark. This way I have gotten the center side. Alright, then also marked it. Now for the belt, I'm going to also get the center side for the belt as well. Then after that, you can see what I have here. I also go ahead and give it a mark. Alright, then I'll also place it. Just look at the way I placed it. Alright, go ahead and place like this. Then after placing your belt like this, you are going to also place your tie. Alright, so for the tie, you're going to make a small gather, like just gather it in the middle like this. Use your hand to gather in the middle like this. Then after that, you place it on top of the belt, alright, at the center side. So now you're going to head over to your sewing machine and stitch it on like this. So guys, I've gone ahead to sew it, and this is what it's looking like. Alright, now this is the back. I also fixed the zipper for the back. So for the back, I used skirt zip for the back because it's very short, and again I also folded the downside as well. Now the next thing I'm going to be doing is to measure the armhole because I want to face the sleeve. So from that edge where I marked the 2.5 inches for the neck wideness, from that point I am going to measure from there to the armhole, and I have 3 inches. Alright, this is the center. Remember, it's 2.5 unfold, so when you open it up, it gives you 5 inches. Alright, so that is it. Now the next thing to do again now is to go ahead and cut out the, we've not cut a second flap for the sleeve, so that is what I'm trying to do here. So now I'm going to measure the first layer. I have 6 inches. Then when cutting the second flare, I'll just mark 4.5 inches. All right, you know it's two step, so I marked 4.5. Then from there I'll cut it off. All right, after cutting, I also place it on top of the fabric, then cut out the second sleeve as well. So guys, after cutting, you can see what I have here. So I just opened it up the right side and place the short one on top of it. Now I'll go ahead and stitch the both piece. Then after stitching the both piece together, this is not a gather, just go ahead and make a normal stitching. Then after that, you go ahead and fold it in a way that your elastic can pass through. All right, then after doing that, you do the same thing on the other one. So guys, after I was done, you can see what I have here. So for the wideness, I measured it, then I have 21 inches. All right, because I went ahead to short it, guys, I trim off some fabrics because I noticed it was a bit too much. You know, it's a baby now, so I just reduce it, so it's going to be very okay. All right, so you can see the upper part that folded it, then the down part I also folded it as well, as you can see. So now this is my elastic. Now I'm going to use my safety pin, then I'll pass it through the open edge. All right, just look at what I'm doing here. After I'm passing my elastic, I'll also go ahead and sew to both sides as well. So guys, after I was done, I'll go ahead and measure what I have there for the wideness, and I have 5.5 inches. I'll measure this other sleeve. I'm just measuring the upper part so you see how wide it is for the baby. All right, so I have 5.5 inches there, 5.5 inches. All right, so remember from that edge to the armhole is 3 inches. Okay, I'll do the same thing here, and I have 3 inches. Now what I'm going to do is to fold the sleeve into two like this, then I'll measure 3 inches. Okay, I'll measure 3 inches, then now I will use my chalk, then mark it. All right, so from that point I'm going to start from there, sew down with half an inch. All right, so after I was done doing that, you can see where I have here. I also turn it over to the right side. So now this is this dress. I'll just open it up like this, then bring my pin, go ahead and face the sleeve, armhole to armhole. All right, make sure that the two armhole are very close, make that they are very close to each other. All right, so go ahead and pin it down like this. After pinning it down like this, I'll head over to my sewing machine, then I'll just go ahead and sew using half an inch. All right, after doing that, I'll also do the same thing for the second sleeve. After doing that, I will be right back. So guys, after I was done, you can see what I have here. So this is my needle and thread. What I'll do is to go ahead and tack the upper part of the bow tie. All right, just tack the both edges. All right, you are going to tack it together with the belt, only together with the belt. All right, do not tack together with the dress, just tack it together with the belt on it. All right, do the same thing for this other side. Then you're not going to do this on the downside of the tie, just the upper part of the both edges. So after doing that, you can see where I have here, and this is how beautiful the dress is looking. So thank you so much for watching.